All right, Ripple XRP holders, hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. We have some big news to talk about this weekend for you guys and what you need to prepare for leading into April 29th. Because looking at XRP right now, sitting at 59 cents, everybody's wondering when the next major breakout will happen for XRP. How many XRP do you need to become a millionaire? What is the correlation between Bitcoin and XRP? And how will that affect XRP's price this entire bull run? So in this video, we have to talk about some massive XRP news along with Bitcoin news and Silk Road seized funds, some data regarding Grayscale dumping Bitcoin and what they're accumulating instead as a part of their Grayscale digital large cap fund. Also, the Ripple and SEC lawsuit entering a critical phase with the grand trial coming up. What that means for the XRP to the US dollar price chart. Some key dates to keep on your calendar. A major update on the Coinbase versus SEC lawsuit and their summary order. And then towards the end of this video, I'm going to break down the psychology of a market cycle on where we are for this bull run and some other altcoins that are gearing up to make a massive breakout and print millionaires over the next few years. That way you can have a well-diversified crypto portfolio that will help you scale your income and also preserve your wealth long term. So if you guys are feeling bullish, comment 777. If you're feeling blessed, comment 777. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping that subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about what's taking place in the world of crypto with XRP, with Bitcoin, and the rest of the market. With XRP being down 6% the past 7 days, 5% the past month, and then over the past year, up 16%, not really doing too much. When will XRP break out, and what is needed in order for that to happen? Because we talked about this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. You know, we have one of the top channels in the world for XRP, and I know a lot of people are pissed off, and rightfully so. I can understand that because with the dump offs taking place for Bitcoin before we decisively close above the all-time high, and then we see a rotation from Bitcoin's dominance. If you guys simply go to coinmarketcap.com, this is very easy to understand. You can see the market cap right here of the whole industry at $2.5 trillion. You can see 24-hour volume, then you see dominance. Bitcoin's dominance is still above 52% of the total market cap of $2.55 trillion because Bitcoin holds $1.3 trillion of the total market cap of the whole industry. Ethereum is at 15.7%. So in order for XRP to really rally, we need to see a rotation of Bitcoin's dominance dropping well below 50% and then going closer to 40 and 30%, just like every other bull run. So for a lot of people to say that XRP is doing nothing, you know, that's like saying there's a bear in the woods. For those of you out there that are wondering when XRP will take off, very, very easy. Bitcoin's dominance needs to roll around. And in order for Bitcoin's dominance to roll around, Bitcoin needs to break the all-time high. So if we look back to the last bull run that happened back in 2020, 2021, you know, if I put up these key indicators for you guys and also the moving averages, you can see the 50 and the 200 moving average. So during the last bull run, when we saw the Pi cycle top indicator come in, it was right here at the top at about $19,000+, almost $20,000. Then we saw the bear market kick in. We saw the 50 moving average above the 200 moving average until right here, about November 2018, when we saw a death cross. Now, a death cross, simply put, means that the shorter time frame moving average, a 50 moving average, a 50-day moving average, crosses below the 200, a longer time frame moving average. It's called the death cross. So when we see historically the past few bull runs, I'm going to go back to the bull run before the 2020 bull run too, and look at what caused this bull market cycle as well, and what we look for. So when we see this death cross take place, we saw Bitcoin dump off a shelf from about $6,500, drop all the way down here to about $3,000. And this is when the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in. Now, if you guys missed my last video, I showed you how to put in the Pi cycle top, the Pi cycle bottom indicator that has predicted the top and the bottom of the cycle. And it was very, very close. Now, it wasn't 100% accurate based on price action, but in terms of the 4-year market cycle theory, it was really close. I mean, the last bull run, it was spot on to the top and to the bottom. For the 2021 bull run, it was a little bit off on calling the bottom, but that was because it called the top right here in April of 2021 based on other key indicators like the MACD and the RSI. So if we look from top to bottom, we see a death cross, Bitcoin bottoms out, the Pi cycle bottom indicator comes in. Now let's look at the 2021 to 2022 bottom. We saw the Pi cycle top indicator come in. We saw this complacency stage, this dead cat bounce, the price sell off, We see a death cross happen right here in May. The price fell off a shelf, coincidentally enough, during the FTX Terra Luna collapse. Then the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in. We see this little rally up to about $25,000, then a final capitulation sell-off event down to about $15,500-ish. Now, one thing that was interesting, when the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in December of 2018, we saw a rally up happen as well too, and then we saw a double bottom formation right here, and then we started rallying on out of there. Very similar enough, when we saw the Pi cycle bottom indicator happen during this previous bear market, we saw a rally up, and then we saw a bottom come in right here, except the bottom was lower than the previous bottom, and then we started working our way out of there. Now, as we started rallying up from February of 2019 during DeFi summer to June of 2019, we saw the 50 moving average in blue start coming back up, and it crossed the 200 moving average. So this is what's called a golden cross right here back in July of 2019. And then if we look over here from January of 2023 until July of 2023, we saw a rally up, the 50 moving average in blue, turn around and cross the 200 moving average right here in July of 2023, which is a golden cross. Now, when that golden cross took place, we saw Bitcoin selling off from roughly $32,000 all the way down to like 24, 25K. Whereas in 2019, we saw a deeper sell-off when the golden cross took place from roughly $14,000 all the way down to $3,900 during COVID, but the 50 moving average on the 3-day chart stayed above the 200 moving average. We formed a higher low on the price chart, and this was a V-shaped recovery, and we saw parabolic price action after that for Bitcoin and all altcoins once Bitcoin passed the all-time high. So if we look at the current bull market for where we're at right now, after that sell-off from September of 2023 post Golden Cross, we saw the bottom come in at about $24,900-ish, the price break on out of here, and we broke the all-time high before Bitcoin's halving that's coming up in like 1 to 2 weeks from now. Now, currently we're hovering right at the all-time high, consolidating, very similar to what happened back here in November to December of 2020 for about a month before we decisively broke the high and we went all the way upwards of 41, 42K before correcting down to $28,000 and then seeing another massive rally up to the Pi cycle top of about 64, 65K. So the reason why the last bull run was a very fast and explosive bull run starting in September all the way to April of 2021 was because we spent so much time consolidating through this range right here after DeFi summer. All the way from July of 2019 until November of 2020, Bitcoin struggled to break out after the Golden Cross. So this bull run is not going to be identical to the previous bull run, but we do see some similarities in the price chart. For example, leading into Bitcoin's halving, we saw a minor correction, and then post Bitcoin's halving, we saw a massive explosion where the price stayed above the 50 moving average until the Pi cycle top, and the 50 moving average stayed above the 200 moving average until we saw a death cross happen in the middle of the bear market. So right now we see the same thing happening. The price is currently above the 50 moving average, actually drastically right now. The 50 moving average is currently at like 49, almost 50K, and the 50 moving average is above the 200 moving average right here in red. That's currently right now at about $31,000. So during a bull run, we want to see price above the 50 moving average and the 50 moving average above the 200 moving average. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are purely fact-based and educational purposes only. So I highly encourage you to consult your financial advisor. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. But if we would just want to base the best entry point in the market and the best exit point in the market, you could base it off the Pi cycle bottom and the Pi cycle top indicator. So until we see the Pi cycle top indicator come in at the peak of this bull run, then deciding to sell right now and get out of the markets is just a pure premature ejaculation move right now, because we're right at the all-time high. In the last bull run, once we broke the all-time high, we surged up another 200 to 300% just for Bitcoin. That's not even including altcoins. Now let's look at the 2015 and 2017 bull run and see if we can see some similarities to the current bull run. So the Pi cycle top indicator came in on November 2013, exactly at the top. We saw the bear market kick in, the price start selling off. We saw the complacency stage right here. In the middle of the bear market, we saw a death cross where the 50 moving average in blue crossed below the 200 moving average in red. We formed a bottom in January of 2015. Simultaneously enough, the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in at exactly the bottom. Then we saw a double bottom formation happen right here by September of 2015, and we printed a higher low. So that was a little bit different than this bear market because in July of 2022, the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in. We rallied up and we formed a lower low, but this was still a double bottom, just like this was a double bottom. Then once we started this breakout in September of 2015, we breached above the 200 moving average and we consolidated right here. Simultaneously enough, the 50 moving average in blue crossed above the 200 moving average in red right here by February of 2016, which signaled a golden cross. Now, right after that golden cross, Bitcoin was just consolidating right here until it broke out by May of 2016. Very similar to what happened from July of 2023 until September. We saw a sell-off this consolidation period. Then we break out again. So arguably this breakout of June of 2016 and then this sell-off period right here back down to the 50 moving average could be compared to this breakout of January of 2024 to the sell-off of the tail end of January of this year. Right here, almost back down to the 50 moving average. And then post ETF news, we break out again to the all-time high. Just like what happened from August of 2016 all the way until January of 2017, we broke out to retest the all-time high. We didn't quite make it above it because Bitcoin came back down to the middle of January, then rallied back up again to about 1,300, broke the all-time high by March, came back down again to the 50 moving average, and then broke the all-time high and stayed above it the entire bull run. And we saw the price above the 50 moving average the entire bull run, coming back down periodically to retest it. We saw the 50 moving average in blue stay above the 200 moving average in red the entire bull run until the bear market kicked in. Then we saw the death cross take place where the 50 moving average crossed below the 200 moving average in red. And then the Pi cycle top indicator came in right at the top. Then the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in and the bear market bottom. So for the people out there that are saying this time it's different for Bitcoin or for XRP or for the rest of the markets because Bitcoin broke the all-time high before the halving, yes, that's true. However, the price chart is very, very similar to the past few bull runs, where when we got back up to the all-time high, we consolidated at it for a period of time. And even if we see another dip down going into the halving or post-halving by a week or two, in my opinion, that's just going to get bought up really fast and we're going to break the all-time high and see massive price action to the upside, just like we did for every single bull run prior to this one, where the price stays above the 50 moving average in blue. Even if the price comes back down periodically at times to retest the 50 moving average, we would want to see the 50 moving average in blue stay above the 200 moving average in red the majority of the bull run, and then the Pi cycle top indicator to be coming in upwards of, maybe $150,000, $190,000, depending on how high Bitcoin goes, is anyone's guess. No one knows exactly how high Bitcoin will go, but one thing we can look for is when the Pi cycle top indicator comes in. Once that flashes, then that could be a good time to get out of the market, because by December of 2013, it called the exact top. By December of 2017, it called the exact top. And by April of 2021, it called the first peak at about $64,000. And the second peak was only at like $68,000. So you would have basically been selling the exact top right here. And so that's why you guys want to subscribe to the channel and like this video, because I'm going to be sharing this with you throughout the course of this bull run. And towards the tail end of this bull run, when this indicator flashes, I'm going to bring it up on video and I'm going to let you guys know when I'm hedging out the majority of my positions in the market. So until then, we're just holding steady and we're accumulating positions in the strongest narratives that are going to absorb the majority of the liquidity this entire bull run. And I'm going to share those narratives with you towards the end of this video in a future video. So watch all the way to the end, because we're going to dive into how this affects XRP here soon. Now, March 25th, last month, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust recorded a $1.9 billion worth of inflows last week, tipping the group of US spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds into net outflows for the week ending March 22nd, according to data from BitMEX research. Now, while there has been buying interest in new funds from BlackRock, Fidelity Investments, and others, since the US Securities and Exchange Commission approved the new Bitcoin ETFs in January, it was not enough to offset selling by Grayscale holders last week. And so there's been a battle between buying and selling. And, that's what's led to Bitcoin consolidating right now at the all-time high in inflows, and also liquidation of long traders, and also what's happening right now with the recent news about the government transferring $2 billion in Bitcoin from the Silk Road seized funds over to Coinbase. So the possibility of them selling caused a lot of fear in the markets temporarily, along with Grayscale's outflows being due to fees significantly higher than those of their rivals, as well as selling by bankruptcy trustees. And an ETF analyst at Morningstar said that Grayscale opted to keep the management fee on its converted ETF at 1.5%, compared with a 0.25% that BlackRock had. And a spokesperson for Grayscale said that its team anticipated that strategies like profit taking and arbitrage, as well as selling by bankruptcy trustees to satisfy creditors of FTX and others, would lead to massive net outflows. Now, anytime an asset reaches an all-time high, it tends to produce profit taking, or at least a lull in the pace of buying, said Adam C., who's head of digital asset product for Global X, an ETF provider. And so far, most of the trading activity has been dominated by individual investors, and perhaps a few larger hedge funds, said the director of digital assets at Van Eck, which also has its own Bitcoin ETF. And this is still a newer asset class and one where stickier money has yet to enter, he said. And according to Binance.com, before the spot ETF approval, GBTC used to redeem its shares by giving investors the US dollar value, but they never sold the Bitcoin. And that's why Grayscale became one of the largest Bitcoin holders besides the Satoshi wallet. Now, with the spot ETF approval, investors have been pulling their money out of GBTC for two reasons. Number one is Grayscale was charging their 1.5 yearly management fee, which is 5 to 6 times higher than other ETF issuers. So you can't compete. And that's why it was a race to the bottom on who could charge the least amount of fees. And if they're keeping their fees high, of course, people are going to sell. And number two, a lot of investors bought GBTC at a 40% discount, and now it's at 0%. So they're exiting their positions, cashing out on their profits because, hey, with an impending World War III event, Black Swan event like what happened for 2020, that's a smart move to be able to preserve capital because you never know if Bitcoin's going to correct down 20, 30, or 40% over the course of 1, 2, 3 weeks, like what happened in March of 2020. So in both scenarios, GBTC now has to sell Bitcoin to pay it back. So the real question is, when will this stop? And how much longer will Bitcoin go sideways? Or what's the potential that it could go down another 10, 20, 30, or even 40% to the downside? And once it settles, investors will put their money from GBTC into other ETFs that have a low management fee that are coming up in the near future, because BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has said there will be other ETFs. So is he signaling that there could be an XRP ETF, a Solana ETF, a Chainlink ETF? What other ETFs do you feel that they're going to be approving in the future? Because remember, this is a long-term game, guys. You need to have patience here. Otherwise, you will lose your Bitcoin to Wall Street. They want to shake you out. They want to accumulate your Bitcoin, and they want to keep it from you. So if Grayscale was dumping off Bitcoin, what were they accumulating instead? And what were they getting rid of inside of their Grayscale digital large cap fund? So Grayscale removed Cardano and Polygon's Matic from its digital large cap fund. And then they added AVAX and XRP to their portfolio. So they removed Cosmos Atom from their smart contract platform, X Ethereum fund, GSCPXE, and remove Curve from their Grayscale DeFi fund as well too. So now they only have 5 assets in their digital large cap fund. Bitcoin, it says 70.96%. So they still got a lot of Bitcoin. Ethereum, 21.84%. Solana, 4.52%. XRP, 1.73%. And then Avalanche at 0.95%. So XRP doesn't hold up that large of a percentage, but it's still one of their top 5. So if XRP was going to go away, then why would they have it as a part of one of their major holdings? For example, if we go on their website, and this is updated as of April 5th. So yesterday, this is the most current data that we have right now. Bitcoin is 71.63%, Ethereum 21.51, Solana 4.2, XRP 1.74, and then Avalanche 0.92%. In terms of their assets under management, they have $570 million here. And so when I look at comments from people who don't even have $1 million in their net worth versus a company like Grayscale that has $570 million that holds XRP, it's very obvious that they know something that the average person that's just reading comments on Twitter doesn't know. So what do they know? Well, if you guys watched the videos in the past, Grayscale actually removed XRP when the lawsuit hit because of no legal clarity there. And now that the lawsuit is pretty much over, they're just coming to a settlement agreement. Now, as the lawsuit enters the critical phase with the grand trial, they added it again. So that's telling me that the lawsuit's pretty much done, and it's giving them the green light to move forward with XRP. And according to the long-standing lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC, it's set to enter this next phase with the start of the grand trial on April 23rd. So post Bitcoin's halving. And this lawsuit's been ongoing for over 3 years, which is why XRP's price is doing nothing, because there still needs to be a final resolution. On top of that, Bitcoin's dominance needs to drop. And we're not even to Bitcoin's halving yet. And everyone knows that it usually takes like 3 to 12 months post Bitcoin's halving before price really starts to go parabolic. So for the people that are expecting to just get rich over the next 24 hours here, the judicial system is super slow. It's ridiculously slow. And that's what's been pissing everybody off. And so there's some key things that need to happen in order for XRP's price to break out. So I'm going to get into those. But before that, prior to the trial, Ripple and the regulator must comply with mandatory court rules. The SEC filed its brief with respect to remedies, while the company's opposition letter should come no later than April 22nd. And also the recent settlement conference with Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Attlroy in Manhattan sought to address the issues ahead of the final pretrial conference set by Judge Annalisa Torres for April 16th. And then Ashley Prosper recently mentioned that the applications for resolutions in the case will conclude on April 29th this month. She mentioned that the judge will make a final decision after this date. So when you guys subscribe to the channel, we'll keep you updated on what's going on, because when we just look at the price chart right here and we look at the facts on what happened the last bull run and the bull run before then, the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in, then the Pi cycle top indicated May 17th. Another Pi cycle top indicated right here as well too, when the price was dropping from $3.30. And the indicator came in on that same candle, on the monthly candle, but it came in a little bit later. So if you would have sold your XRP at 20 cents, I mean, that would have been a good exit point. The pi cycle bottom indicator came in at like 27 cents. We sold off a little bit further to the downside after that, but that wasn't that bad of an entry point because that was the exact bottom when the pi cycle bottom indicator came in for this bear market. And so I've drawn up these arrows from the pi cycle bottom indicator to these massive breakout periods because it took 701 days for the first major breakout to happen for XRP last bull run by November of 2021. Then the lawsuit hit. We sold off towards this ascending support line. Then we bounced off of it and we trended all the way up here. Now, very interesting enough, the pi cycle top indicator didn't come in by April of 2021 when XRP's price topped out. What does that mean? I mean, that's pretty interesting because the pi cycle top indicator came in twice last bull run. So could that mean that XRP is going into a potential super cycle, that the top isn't even in for that bull run and we're going to surge well beyond that? In my opinion, I think that's very, very likely towards the tail end of this bull run, post Bitcoin's halving, going into 2025, towards the tail end of this year, once the lawsuit's completely done and Bitcoin's dominance is completely rolled over to the downside, because 852 days after that pi cycle bottom indicator came in on December of 2018, we saw a massive rally upwards of, $1.98. And so even though XRP didn't pass the true all-time high, it still did a 10x while it was going through a lawsuit. And the funniest aspect of this is it stayed in the top 10, guys, the entire bull run. So that just simply tells me the XRP is not going away because this lawsuit's almost over. Once it's over, Ripple pays the amount for settlement that they need to pay. We're going to see a break of this symmetrical triangle right here because XRP has been coiling up for a long period of time and eventually something has to give here. Now, if we were to just measure 701 days from the current pi cycle bottom indicator that flashed on June of 2022, that puts us into May 1st of this year. So by next month, that's right around when we saw this first pump up for XRP to 77 cents. Lawsuit hit, sold back down to this ascending support line, and we saw it rally out of that to 852 days later for the high of that bull run. And so 852 days after the pi cycle bottom indicator would be October of 2024, so the tail end of this year. Now also, when we look at the MACD and we see the MACD line in blue cross above the signal line in orange right here, this was a bullish cross below the zero line. That's when we saw XRP's price sell off a little bit after that, going from 32 cents down to like 22 cents. And so during this time frame, imagine the negative noise that was happening in the market right here back in September of 2020, where people are like, XRP is not doing anything, XRP is dead, look at XRP, it's just been in this downtrend, it's dead, it's going away, it's a scam project. And then boom, XRP breaks out, and then the SEC sues Ripple, pissing everybody off, and it just comes right back down. But the key thing that we saw here was this bullish cross on the MACD. We went above the zero line, the MACD line stayed above the signal line, and then we went into this massive bull run where XRP pulled a 10x. Now, XRP most likely would have done a 20, 30, 40, or even a 50x this bull run, but it didn't. And that's why the pi cycle top indicator didn't come in, because this key indicator knows that XRP was far off from the true high that it was going to go do that bull run. And so where are we right now on the MACD? When we look at the facts, we ignore all the emotional opinions from idiots who don't know what they're talking about, and we just look at the indicators. What just happened here in June of 2023? We saw the MACD line in blue cross above the signal line in orange below the zero line, and we currently see the MACD line right now above the signal line in orange, just barely above the zero line, but we are not overextended at all. So within the next 6 to 12 months, I would expect something massive to happen for XRP and to completely shock everybody, just like it's done in the past. And for the MACD line in blue to trend well above the signal line in orange. And then if we see the pi cycle top indicator come in for Bitcoin, just like what happened right here by April 16th of 2021, XRP topped out before that by roughly 2 weeks on April 1st of 2021. So even if we see XRP just bleed out a little bit more to the downside to like 45 cents and stay within the symmetrical triangle, when XRP does break out, it's going to happen very, very quick. It's going to catch people off guard, and we're going to see key signs on the MACD that we're going to update you guys on a consistent basis. So in terms of the amount that Ripple is going to have to pay to settle this lawsuit, nobody knows. And in terms of the exact date, well, it's not going to happen at the tail end of this month. The judge is going to make a decision after that, but we're arguably 12 months or less away from a massive decision, because with Ripple coming out with their stablecoin and organizations like the World Economic Forum and massive banks basically saying that Ripple and XRP are the most viable solution for CBDCs, I don't think it's a coincidence that they're coming out with their stablecoin around the same time. And also we have a massive update as well too. That's good news for the industry on the Coinbase lawsuit. Marty posted this on Twitter saying that The U.S. Court of Appeals Second Circuit sided with Coinbase, and the court confirmed that secondary sales of crypto by Coinbase do not violate the Securities Exchange Act. So this is good news for the entire industry. However, Coinbase needs to stop going offline, which causes people the inability to sell or do anything with their portfolio when the markets are going crazy. And then during that periods where Coinbase goes offline, then we see Bitcoin's price drop. That's massive market manipulation. However, with this news taking place, I expect the top base ecosystem tokens by market capitalization to go absolutely parabolic this bull run. Because when we look at the market cap of base ecosystem tokens, the market cap is only $3.7 billion. You know, the artificial intelligence market cap is like 40 or 50 billion. You see meme coins upwards of 50 or 60 billion. And so a lot of meme coins, a lot of AI projects, a lot of gaming tokens are going to be listed on base. And we're going to see massive 20, 50, 100x, even 500 and 1000x projects pop up on here because the gas fees are significantly lower on base. The total value locked, as you can see on DeFi Llama, has been going parabolic. And we're just about ready to go from hope, optimism, belief into thrill and euphoria on the psychology of a market cycle. When we look at the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're still far off from the all-time high. And if we draw it up right here, you guys can clearly see euphoria at the high, then complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, then capitulation down here, then anger down here, and then depression. Now, the only difference here is that we broke out faster from depression to disbelief. As you can see on this, demonstration right here, when we went from depression to disbelief on this image, well, it took longer, whereas the disbelief stage right here, as you guys can see, happened a lot faster, where we broke out of this descending resistance. We also back tested this horizontal support, if I were to just draw it right here, by January of 2024. And then we break out into the hope stage of the market, where people start believing that a recovery is possible. Now, during a hope stage breakout, usually what happens here is it takes a while to go from hope to optimism for the market. But with how quickly we went from disbelief to hope, we could consolidate out here for a period of time after the halving. Let's say Bitcoin dips down, well, maybe the altcoin market could take another dip, do a V-shaped recovery like this, then take off. The next move is basically to retest, the previous high right here, consolidate at it, and then either see another consolidation period right here, or we just blast through and just keep trending higher towards the later stage of this bull run going into 2025. And so, I've been making videos the past few months telling you guys what I feel is going to happen. And it's been pretty spot on. I talked about this stage right here. When we break this horizontal support for disbelief, we could back test it, and then we break out into the hope stage. And sure, it's not going to be 100% identical to like what I'm drawing up right here. This is just an example. But even if we see a deeper dip, that just presents a better opportunity to back up the truck for the dip, because the psychology of a market cycle is timeless, because it's not based on opinions. It's not based on fake news. It's not based on false narratives. It's based on emotions that have been with us for thousands of years. I mean, if you go back to Roman times, everyone felt these same emotions, disbelief, hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, anger, and depression. And so when I saw the most amount of people angry and depressed all the way down here in the summer of 2023, October of 2023, this is when I was accumulating, Bitcoin and altcoins. And then during this back test in the disbelief stage right here by January of 2024, that's when I was accumulating even more. So right now, there are certain projects that I'm still accumulating during this dip right here because I believe they're going to make more gains than Bitcoin. Now, one project that I was able to accumulate all the way between $1 and $2 was Near Protocol. And right now it's currently at about almost $7 right now. And we saw the disbelief stage happen for Near Protocol right here, December of 2023. It broke out, it back tested the previous range as support, breaks out into the hope stage right here, and it's currently consolidating right now. Now, one thing that's interesting is we also saw a golden cross right here where the 50 moving average crossed above the 200 moving average while we were consolidating. Then post that, we see this breakout consolidation period right here. Now, if I were to trace this chart up next to Near Protocol, it's very, very similar, where the next move to the upside, depending on when it happens, it could happen sooner, it could happen after Bitcoin's halving, but the next move is the all-time high at about like $18 to $20 for Near Protocol. And if you guys watched my previous videos where I compared Injective to Render, if we trace Injective's chart up to Near Protocol, it is very, very similar to what's happening right now, where once Injective broke out to the disbelief stage that you guys can see right here on the left-hand side of the screen, we back tested on March of 2023, we break out for this hope stage right here, and then we consolidate during the hope stage for an extended period of time. Then we break out and we start going into belief and then some optimism thrill up here past the all-time high. But when I was pointing out render was right around this stage right here from November to February of 2024 of this year, I talked about how we were exactly right here compared to injective. And the next move for render was basically to go to the all-time high, consolidate, and then breach the all-time high. And so if we're looking at Near Protocol, I do think Near Protocol has a lot more gas left in the tank. And the reason why is because if we go to categories on CoinMarketCap and you guys look at the most popular categories, there's memes, Solana ecosystem, gaming, and artificial intelligence. If we click on AI, you guys will see that the #1 project by market capitalization in the AI category is Near Protocol at $7.3 billion market cap. Now, will Near Protocol pull 100x this bull run? No, I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that it's going to be one of the most legit plays that has yet to do what injective is done and then what render did shortly after that. I think Near Protocol is going to have a massive breakout within the next few months. And so watch this chart, guys. We're going to revisit this just like I'm revisiting injective and render and show you what the chart is going to look like 3 to 6 months from right now. Because while Bitcoin is currently consolidating at the all-time high, Near Protocol is almost 200% away from its all-time high. But where the real money is going to be made, guys, is a little bit further down the list as we scroll down here. But one project that I'm super bullish on that is a micro cap that is going to be launching very, very soon, that's also in the gaming sector, which is the most popular sector at the start of this bull run, is Landrocker. Now, I made a few videos about this, guys, but this project's going to be launching very, very soon. The pro version of the game is going to be coming out. They're an official partner of Immutable IMX, which is the largest project in the gaming sector. Now, what I'll do for you guys is I'll leave a link in the description below for an entire review video alongside a link that will take you to a page that looks like this. That way you can do your own research. Now, one of the biggest reasons why this project could do very, very well is because they're launching at a $1.5 million initial market cap. And you look at other competitors at $30 to $150 million range. Even look at a lot of these top GameFi projects, guys. They're upwards of $200 million, $150 million, $100 million. On the first page, the lowest market cap is a $25 million project. So for Landrocker to do a 10x, that's only a $15 million market cap. Now, I don't think Bitcoin's going to do a 10x this bull run cycle. That would require Bitcoin to go to nearly $700,000. Now, is it possible for Bitcoin to do that by like 2030, 2040? Absolutely. But by 2025, I'm only expecting Bitcoin to go between $100,000 and $200,000. So the big money is made in low market cap projects that have yet to launch or that have already launched, gearing up for a massive breakout. Now, also, if you want to get exclusive early access to the Underground guidebook for discovering 100x altcoins in detail, showing you guys some practical and applicable steps that you can take with no previous crypto trading experience to be able to discover that next 100x gem, all you need to do right now is go to bullrunners.com. The link will be in the description below. Click the button on the page, put in your best email address. You'll be instantly subscribed to our daily video newsletter where we give you the breaking news first before these videos come out so you can stay in the know. So we give you the best to help you prepare for the worst that's yet to come in this economy, because we believe that the spending power of the dollar is going to keep going down in value. That's a fact based on inflation, blockchain tech, distributed ledger technology, and cryptocurrencies are going up in interest. That's the truth. And you know where we're going. We're going camping on the beaches of the moon. So I appreciate you guys. I will see you on the next video. I also will see you on bullrunners.com. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.